Hey Reddit. I've been debating whether or not to post this because it's still happening, and honestly, I'm terrified it'll get worse if I talk about it. But I need someone to tell me I'm not losing my mind. I moved into this apartment complex last November. It's an old brick building downtown, the kind where you can hear every footstep in the hallway and every conversation through the pipes. Rent's cheap, and that's the only reason I took it. When I moved in, the guy next door, apartment 309, introduced himself as Peter. He looked about mid-30s, pale, with that kind of quiet politeness people have when they live alone too long. He worked nights, so I mostly heard him moving around in the mornings, shower running, cabinets closing, sometimes a faint radio playing old jazz. Then, about a month ago, it all stopped. No footsteps. No radio. No sound at all. At first, I figured he was out of town. But after a week, I started to notice something weird. His lights were always on. Every night, same faint yellow glow seeping through the bottom of his door. But no movement. No sound. I knocked a few times, nothing. I even left a note under his door. "Hey man, just checking you're okay." It was still there the next morning. About 10 days in, the smell started. Not like garbage or mold, something sharper. Like old meat and metal. I thought maybe an animal had died in the vents, so I called the building manager. He said he'd check it out. 2 days later, he told me he knocked on Peter's door too, no answer. So he said he'd handle it when he got the spare keys. Except, that was 2.5 weeks ago. And Peter's door is still locked. It's been 27 days now. The smell's worse. But what's really messing with me is that I can hear him again. Every night, between 2 and 3 a.m. Footsteps. Slow. Pacing from one side of the apartment to the other. Sometimes stopping right by the wall we share. I've even heard him dragging something heavy across the floor. I texted the manager again. No reply. When I called, his phone went straight to voicemail. Last night, I pressed my ear against the wall. It was dead quiet for maybe 30 seconds, and then I heard whispering. It was Peter's voice. I couldn't make out the words, but it sounded like he was talking to someone. Except he lives alone. This morning, I finally lost it. I pounded on his door. No response. I shouted, "Peter! I can hear you in there." The footsteps stopped. Then I heard something slide up against the door, like he was standing right behind it. And then, in the quietest, most broken voice, he whispered, "He's not me anymore." I froze. I didn't know what to say. I backed away slowly. That was about 5 a.m. Around noon, I went back out into the hall. Peter's light, still on. The smell, stronger. And taped to his door, in what looked like dried brown stains, was my note. The one I left weeks ago. Only now, underneath my handwriting, there was a reply. In shaky letters, it said, "Stop knocking." I should have called the cops then. But I didn't. I don't even know why. Maybe I didn't want to explain how long I'd waited. So tonight, I decided to record it. I put my phone against the wall and hit record. I left it running while I tried to sleep. I just listened to it back about 20 minutes ago. For the first 10 minutes, it's just faint creaks and floorboards. Then I heard the footsteps. Slow, steady. Pacing again. Then something new, a scraping sound. Metal on concrete. And finally, his voice. Whispering. Right up against the wall. He's under the floor. Then the sound of something pounding, 3 times, from below. The recording ends there. I don't know what to do. I went down to the basement a few hours ago, just to check. There's a locked metal door I've never noticed before, right beneath Peter's unit. Fresh padlock. And underneath it, dark stains seeping from the floorboards. I called the police 20 minutes ago. They said they'd send someone to check. That was an hour ago. The lights just flickered. And from the other side of the wall, I can hear two sets of footsteps now.